Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of my analysis and comparison of the My Hero Academia manga and anime, created by Kohei Horikoshi and animated by Studio Bones. This episode, called Rage, You Damn Nerd, details Midoriya and his classmates' second day at UA, Deku's new friends, and his first real fight with Bakugo. Please enjoy. Deku passed the UA entrance exam and heads to UA for his first day in Class 1A. His friends Ida, Uraraka, and his childhood foe Bakugo are all in the same class and all participate in the test their homeroom teacher Aizawa poses to them. This test consists of standard gym tests, including staples like the softball throw, 50-meter dash, grip strength, and more, but with a twist. The students can use their quirks. The stakes are high, though, as the student with the lowest score will be expelled. Bakugo, Ida, Uraraka, and the other students are all performing well, while Deku falls behind due to not being able to use his quirk without gravely injuring himself. On the 5th event, Deku knows he needs at least one good score, and so he prepares to activate his quirk as he throws. Aizawa stops him and tells him that he's overly reckless with his quirk and has no control of it, and therefore will never become a hero. Despite this, Deku is able to focus the power into his fingertip and launch the ball over 700 meters without badly injuring himself, impressing Aizawa and shocking Bakugo. If you'd like to learn more about this episode, I have linked my segment on it in the description. I have no rights to the anime or the manga. All rights belong to Horikoshi and the animation studios and teams who helped him animate and develop the My Hero Academia universe. Consider picking up the manga or watching the anime. For reference, episode 6 of the anime encompasses the end of volume 1 and the beginning of volume 2. That's right, we're finally moving on from the first book to the second. After 3 weeks of editing, finally. So, to clarify, the last chapter of Volume 1, Izuku Midoriya Origin, called Costume Change, is included in this episode, as well as the first chapter of Volume 2, Rage, You Damn Nerd, which is also called Rage, You Damn Nerd. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty sure that's a theme in this series. Anyways, for now, please enjoy my retelling and analysis of the events of these chapters. This episode resumes right after Midoriya launches the softball, focusing primarily on Bakugo. Bakugo looks very shocked at Deku's ability, thinking that this should be impossible as quirks never manifest past age 4. He also thinks back to Deku's comment after Bakugo had confronted him one last time in middle school, with Deku saying that he earned this. Suddenly, Bakugo lunges at Deku, questioning him on how the hell he did something like that, before he is caught by Aizawa's capture scarf. Bakugo is left standing in shock after Aizawa nullifies his quirk before releasing him, and Deku goes back over near the other students. Bakugo thinks back to their childhood, angered, knowing that with a power like that, Deku might actually stay at UA and stop being a simple obstacle in Bakugo's path. The students perform the rest of the test, with Deku not able to use his quirk to help him out with any of them. Knowing that he likely has the lowest score, he assumes he will be expelled, but Aizawa suddenly reveals that it was all just a rational deception to make them perform as well as they could. Deku seems shocked but relieved, and is given a slip and told to go see a recovery girl to get his finger healed. The students disperse, Aizawa passing All Might where he had been hiding behind the building. All Might immediately calls Aizawa's bluff, saying that he hasn't pulled any punches with expelling students in the past, and that he must see something in Midoriya as well. Aizawa seems suspicious that All Might is supporting Deku, but simply admits that yes, Midoriya has a small chance of being something great. The scene switches to Deku leaving UA after getting healed by a Recovery Girl, feeling tired but determined to get a better handle on his quirk since the constant healing from Recovery Girl drains his stamina, which could eventually lead to death if constant injury continues to occur. Ida catches up to him outside, and Midoriya thinks to himself that Ida isn't really scary, he's just super serious, while Ida mutters about Aizawa's rational deception and how it wasn't particularly heroic. Uraraka runs into both of them too, reintroducing herself and calling Midoriya Deku since she heard Bakugo call him that, which Midoriya admits is a name that Bakugo gave him to harass him. Uraraka, though, says that it sounds like a heroic name and that she likes it, in which Midoriya cracks under no pressure at all and says that she can call him whatever she wants to. The scene ends with them all walking out of the UA gates together, Midoriya already building a foundation of friends around him. UA is built around a normal school system, with normal classes like English in the morning and lunch in the middle of the day, taught by pro heroes instead of normal teachers. However, the afternoon is reserved for the Hero Basic Training class, one of the most credit-heavy and intense classes at UA, taught by All Might. All Might comes in and lets them know that they will be doing battle-focused training that day, before revealing their specific hero costumes to them all. Everyone gets dressed and heads out to Ground Beta, where they have an awesome scene with all of them in their brand new hero suits. Volume 1 ends here on a cliffhanger, leaving the battle training until the next volume. But you are all in luck. You don't have to wait because
I am here!
Volume 2 begins by introducing the UA Uniform Subsidy, which allows students to request specific aspects and designs for their hero costumes. These designs are refined by a support company who develops the suits for UA, allowing each student to have a unique, specialized hero suit. Deku considers this in a flashback to 3 weeks ago when he was talking to All Might about updating the status of his quirk at City Hall, in which All Might says he should be allowed to change from quirkless to having a quirk in their registry system since this is a pretty relevant change. Suddenly, his mom bursts into the room and he's forced to hang up. Izuku's mom apologizes for giving up on Izuku when he was young and promises to support him with everything she has now, offering him a green jumpsuit she had bought for him to wear as his costume. The scene flashes back to the present, Deku running to join his fellow students in his new outfit. Uraraka compliments him on his outfit, Deku too flustered to reply after seeing Uraraka's skin-tight jumpsuit. All Might remarks in the background that the ear-like parts of Deku's costume are way too similar to his own hairpieces, though he seems amused. Ida is also revealed to have a striking robot-like costume when he asks All Might what sort of battle training they'll be doing. All Might introduces their first training exercise, called Indoor Anti-Personnel Battle Training, which involves 2-on-2 teams drawn at random and split into heroes and villains. The villains are fighting to keep the heroes away from a bomb, while the heroes are attempting to secure the bomb in a limited amount of time. Either team could also simply capture the other and win that way. This exercise helps prepare the students to both fight indoors and in random teams, which are scenarios that frequently play out in pro-hero life. After All Might finishes his instructions, he begins to pair up the various teams, the most notable being Midoriya and Uraraka in Team A and Bakugo and Ida in Team D. All Might then randomly draws out which teams will go against each other and, you guessed it, Team A and D are against each other, with Team D being the villains and Team A being the heroes. The villain team, Bakugo and Ida, are allowed into the building with a 5-minute head start to plan their approach, while the heroes Uraraka and Deku wait outside. Inside, Ida and Bakugo discuss their strategy, Bakugo questioning Ida about if Deku really has a quirk, seeming agitated about the entire thing, while Ida asks Bakugo not to immediately go after Deku. Meanwhile, Deku speaks with Uraraka about Bakugo, admitting that Bakugo, despite his terrible demeanor, is actually very strong and that his quirk, his confidence, and his strength make him better than Deku in every way. However, Deku doesn't seem discouraged, only becoming more determined and announcing that Bakugo's greatness is exactly why he wants to beat him. Uraraka seems excited, saying that it is a fated battle between rivals and that she is ready to help Deku in the fight. Deku and Uraraka enter the building, Deku thinking to himself that due to not being able to regulate One For All, that leaves them with only his natural strength, the memory of his notes on indoor fights, and Uraraka's quirk. Suddenly, Bakugo jumps out from around a corner, executing a surprise attack, swinging with an explosive right hook towards Midoriya. Midoriya pushes Uraraka out of the way, diving to the side, just barely able to dodge the blow. He is still standing though, half of his mask burnt off, saying that he knew Bakugo would come straight at him. The students comment from where they are watching in the background, saying that the move wasn't very heroic, though All Might seems to applaud it due to it almost working. Suddenly, Bakugo lunges at Deku, saying that he'll hurt him just bad enough to not be disqualified. But Deku anticipates the right hook, lunging forwards and grabbing Bakugo by the shoulder, throwing him onto his back. Deku stands, yelling back at Bakugo that Bakugo always throws a right hook first, and that he's seen it enough times to know. He continues on, saying that he's analyzed every hero that he admires, including Bakugo, in that notebook that Bakugo burned up and threw out. He finishes it off by saying that he's the Deku who always does his best, not Bakugo's useless punching bag. This seems to enrage Bakugo, who manages to stand and say that despite Deku being so scared, he's still standing and fighting him, which is why Deku makes him so angry. Wow, this seems really intense, a real turning point, right? Well, unfortunately for you, that's the end of the episode, but trust me, Deku gets back at Bakugo for all those years of bullying in the next episode. Or should I say, the episode after the next one, since I am planning to do a Volume 1 extravaganza, including recaps on all their established characters and the essential plot, my favorite scenes in the anime and manga panels amassed in artwork form, my favorite voiceover bloopers, and possibly more. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get onto the analysis for episode 6. While comparing the anime and the manga, I noticed two discrepancies. In the anime, the scene where All Might is describing the training exercise is much more animated, resembling an old-style video game. In the manga, it's just a small drawing with stick figures, with the bomb explicitly shown to be on the top floor, while in the anime, it is a mystery. I think the difference in style here was just to keep the viewers entertained while All Might went through his lengthy explanation. There were a few other differences I didn't see worth mentioning since they were so small, mostly dialogue changes that don't really alter the overall story. But here's one I thought was worth mentioning. Deku announces to Bakugo that Deku will be his hero name near the end of this episode. While this choice still stems from Uraraka liking the name, her wording is different and, I believe, significantly so. In the anime, Uraraka says that she likes the name because it sounds heroic, which Deku basically repeats during the fight with Bakugo, saying that it's the name of a hero. In the manga, Uraraka instead says that Deku sounds like the name of a person who always tries their best. This comparison stems from the Japanese verb dekiru, which means can do or to be able to, and is similar to the name Deku. Bakugo's use of the nickname Deku actually stems from a shortened version of the word Deku Nobu, which literally means wooden puppet, and is used to regard Midoriya as someone who is good for nothing. So obviously, Uraraka saying that it's the name of a person who tries their best is significant in verbiage, but also in the context of Midoriya himself. Even when he was in middle school and even as a child, he showed fearlessness and the undying ambition to follow his own dreams despite the odds. Through standing up to Bakugo and saving him from that villain fight at the same time, through being brave enough to continue chasing his dream that most everyone deemed impossible, even having the sheer will to put in 10 months of high-endurance training just to have a slim chance at passing the UA entrance exam and living up to All Might, Deku really is a person who has always tried his best. And in that way, I think his name being a reflection of that ties back into his character better than a name simply being heroic. Anyway, let me stop nerding out. Let's get back into the character analysis. So, there's a lot of characters in this episode, and honestly, we don't get any info about a lot of them. Like, who's this creepy ice guy, or the acid girl, or the weird-ass French guy? Rest assured, more will be revealed about every single one of them in the coming episodes. For now, I think this episode is really more about Bakugo and Deku. Let's start with Mr. Anger Issues.
I'm gonna roast that damn nerd today!
So, Bakugo has been getting a lot of surprises lately. First, his childhood enemy, who has been quirkless and weak for his entire life, somehow gets into prestigious hero school. He then promptly stands up to him for the first time since they were kids. And then, somehow, he has a super powerful quirk that is able to beat even his own softball throw record in the first school test, where Bakugo had likely been hoping Deku would just pack up and go home. So, yeah, I'd be a little shocked too if I were him. Bakugo reacts by basically launching himself at Deku, attempting to strike at him and make him explain how exactly all the things I've just listed above have been happening, before being stopped by Aizawa. But that's not the end of the conflict. Bakugo has the opportunity to sort out his issues with Deku during the second day battle training using his favorite method, violence. Instead of staying back with Ida and making an actual plan about how they're going to protect the nuclear bomb, he is blinded by his own emotions and immediately travels down to the floor Deku and Uraraka infiltrated the building on. As soon as he locates them, he immediately strikes at Deku, but Deku knows him too well and had anticipated such an aggressive approach. Bakugo only manages to sear off half of Deku's mask and drive both Deku and Uraraka back, not harming either of them. Deku doesn't have much time to recover before Bakugo lunges at him again, swinging back for a right hook. But again, Deku knows him well enough to retaliate while Bakugo's guard is exposed, throwing him down onto his back. After Deku's speech about his name, Bakugo stands enraged, saying that the reason he hates Deku is because of this, his undying belief in himself and his acceleration forwards despite the odds against him. While Deku is still the main character, I honestly think this episode was focused majorly on Bakugo. To be beneath Deku for even a second, someone he deems as being as little as a pebble or a bug, must be utterly unbearable for someone as prideful and driven as Bakugo. This is really shown in that last scene, where Deku's simple attack ends up just pissing him off further rather than shocking him. And honestly, looking back at the results of the 5th event, softball throwing, Deku was already able to beat Bakugo's score by a hair. While Deku doesn't have much control over his quirk yet, he's clearly got as much of a mind as Bakugo and much more composure, making him an actual threat to Bakugo during this event. Speaking of Deku,
I have to do better. I refuse to lose today.
After his meeting with Recovery Girl earlier this episode, he learns that if he doesn't get control over his power fast, Recovery Girl can't heal his more grievous injuries, or he will simply run out of stamina and die. Due to her warning, Deku approaches the battle training exercise with a lot more caution. He admits to Uraraka before the fight that he is very nervous to fight Bakugo, but is also very determined to win. It's strange to me, but also admirable that, despite how Bakugo has acted towards Deku all his life, Deku has always held this sort of admiration for Bakugo. He recognizes Bakugo's excellence through his ambition, strength, and confidence, and somehow it makes him way more determined to beat Bakugo because of it. Deku commits, at least for now, to not using his quirk and to rely on his own physical strength and Uraraka's zero gravity to win this battle. But I think Deku forgets one important thing about himself. He's super nerdy. While Deku might not have had any quirk in his youth, he's literally taken notes on every hero he's ever admired, filed it away in his mind for later, and put these techniques into action several times during the series. Some examples include the Sludge Villain incident, the entrance exam, and most recently, Aizawa's gym tests. In the battle training exercise, he has already shown his knowledge of hero tactics to be priceless, as he uses it to evade Bakugo's reckless attacks twice, despite Bakugo putting his entire effort into both of the attacks. In this way, despite the current disparity between Bakugo and Deku's quirks, I really do believe they will be very competitive rivals who won't cease to give up even when pushed to their limits. We will definitely see more growth in this rivalry in Volume 2, and more on this battle training exercise in Episode 7. For now, though, that is the end of this segment. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my retelling and analysis of the last chapter of Volume 1, Costume Change, and the first chapter of Volume 2, Rage You Damn Nerd. I hope you were able to form your own opinions from my analysis, and if you have anything to add, I'd love to see your ideas in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this one. Keep an eye out for the Volume 1 extravaganza I mentioned. Coming next week, probably. Here are some bloopers. Hello everyone, welcome back to Really? I'm on my second sentence, and I already messed. Okay, let's just start over. Impressing Aizawa and dodging expulsion. Man, I am just so terrible at speaking. Like, what is this? Like, I don't have a speech impediment, okay? I don't think so. I don't think I do. I'm just really bad. Okay. Deku might actually stay at UA and will stop being simply a small, like, what? This script is so man. This is so bad. I read this over before. How did I not read this and think this is so terrible? Like, oh my god. Just need to change everything. Might as well just scrap the entire damn thing. Like, just... Knowing that he likely has the lowest score, he assumes he will be expelled, but Aizawa suddenly reveals that it was all just a rational I am just not happy right now. Nope. Deku seems shocked but relieved and is given a slip and told to go see go see who? Go see who? Who? Where's the squirrel? Is there a squirrel? The scene ends with them all walking out of the UA gates together. Okay, like, doesn't that just sound great? It's just me slurring my words together. Like, I just can't. The most notable being Midoriya and Uraraka in Team A, and Bakugo and Ida in Team B. Oh my lord. Deku and Uraraka enter the building, Deku thinking to himself that I must be drunk or something, bro. Like, what? But here's one I thought was Worcestershire sauce? Worcestershire sauce? Okay. Anyway. What? I'm sorry. Instead of saying anyways, I just said anyway. I'm crying. But that's not the end of the conflict. Bakugo has the opportunity to sort out his issues with like, what am I, cold? Like, what is this sound I'm making, bro? But that's not the end of the conflict. Bakugo has the opportunity to Okay. But that's not the end of the conflict. Bakugo has the opportunity what? While Deku doesn't have much control over his quirk yet, he's clearly got as much of a mind as Bakugo and much more composure, making him an actual threat to Deku. Like, what? Due to her warning, Deku approaches the battle training exercise with a lot of... Oh. Deku approaches the... I'm such a failure, man. In this way, despite the current disparity between Bakugos and... Bakugo. What? Why did I just break